main scar here. And this entire area here shows differences in the skin.
She was like, you fat ass, so I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna get you fired.
Did the defendant use her fingernails to cut your face?
She did.
I personally feel like if there's no physical touch, there is no incident. There was a verbal altercation. If you think that that's an incident, a verbal altercation, then it's an incident for you.
Welcome back. Cardi B's civil assault trial has been filled with memorable moments, and today it's time to see some more. Today is the day for the all-important closing arguments. The Grammy Award-winning rapper is standing by her claims that the incident in question was verbal only and that she did not touch former security guard Emani Ellis. The plaintiff, however, is claiming that she was attacked by the pregnant rapper, which left her with a scar on her face that needed cosmetic surgery. She's seeking damages in the amount of $24 million. So what are your expectations for the closing arguments? And what is it like to represent a high-profile client? Well, let's bring in someone who knows exactly what that's like. She's the co-owner and the host of Justice Served TV. She's a high-profile trial attorney, the lovely Linda Kenny-Bodden on the show today. Linda, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, Julie, my friend. So nice to see you.
Oh, you
what
too.
Is it like? Well,
please.
The first thing you have to do, is decide during the trial before you even get to closings whether you want the client to be the client. For instance, when I represented Phil Spector, I didn't want to change a thing about him because I wanted the jury to see who the decedent went home with, right? So the attorneys in this case, her attorneys, decided they wanted her to be Cardi B. They didn't want her to be anybody else. They didn't want her to be Belcalis. They didn't want her to be her. That's her given name. Right? They wanted her stage name. And boy, did she come through for them.
She sure did, Linda. Tell me, this is helpful because I think for anybody wondering how strategic is, let's say, her attire in the courtroom, her outfits, and you're such a fashionista yourself. I know you love fashion and appreciate it. So tell me, for anybody wondering, is anything coincidental in terms of, her hair, her makeup, her clothing, all of it?
Absolutely nothing. Everything is pre-planned. She also has handlers, and she also has the attorneys have to deal with her press people too. Because remember, she's a star. She's got an album out. There's questions whether it's tanking or not, and whether this helps it. But that's a different issue. So do you believe her? Because look at her. I mean, the attorney tried to say, well, the security guard didn't recognize you, but she did recognize her. And ultimately, this case is not going to come down to Cardi B's status. It's going to come down to the fact that the plaintiff, in my opinion, had no pictures at the time of the alleged incident. The plaintiff did not take the spit and saliva. She's a security guard. She said she spat on her. She could have taken that, a la Monica Lewinsky and the famous dress, and had it tested for DNA. The doctor and the receptionist all testified for Cardi B. And ultimately, she didn't see a doctor for 4 years who said he then treated her for a hypersensitive scar that could have been caused by a fingernail. But then whose fingernail? 4 years later?
Right. Come on, no pictures at the time of the incident. You can barely see whatever it is that's on her face. Is it a scar? Is it a scratch? It's debatable. I had a hard time seeing it myself. Linda, I want to play a clip for you. You mentioned this, how good the testimony was from so many of those witnesses. The doctor and the receptionist really stood out to us as very favorable witnesses for Cardi B. Let's go back and listen to what they shared.
It definitely didn't come from me.
Okay, so that's out. You got 2 more.
And
Ellis and Cardi B. Or
Cardi
your own.
was behind me. So the only assumption that I had was it was from Miss Ellis because she was facing me.
Did you at any point use your hands to separate the 2 of them, Emani Ellis and Cardi B?
No.
Did you see Cardi B hit plaintiff?
No.
Did you see Cardi B scratch or cut plaintiff with her fingernails?
No.
Did you see Cardi B threaten to get plaintiff fired?
No.
Did you hear Cardi B call plaintiff the N-word? And by that I mean the whole.
No.
Did you hear Cardi B call plaintiff fat or poor?
No.
Okay, so with this testimony in mind, Linda, let's say you're representing Cardi B in this case. What would be your biggest goal in the closings in terms of the message to convey to this jury?
That you know Cardi B, you've seen Cardi B. She was pretty upfront about how angry she was, but there's simply no evidence that indicated that she scratched, touched, or hit the plaintiff here. And as a matter of fact, all of the evidence is contrary. Now, I know you're going to ask me what the plaintiff's going to say. I know that.
Yes, yes. Tell me, my friend, what will they share to the jury? What they should share for the jury? Is it a better question?
Yeah, they're going to say, of course, the doctor and the receptionist are going to be biased. This is their practice. They don't want people to think that they didn't protect their high-profile patients. But this woman has come for you. She's been poked. She's been probed. And why would she do this to herself unless she was hurt by Cardi B? That's going to be their argument. They may allege that, at least find Cardi B guilty of the assault, which is to scare her, and not the battery. And the jury then could, and I think if you're the plaintiff, the best you can hope for is the jury comes with that kind of split verdicts and orders some maybe minimal damages. That's the best you're going to hope for.
Yeah, really great point, Linda. Speaking of the jury, let's talk a little bit about their decision and how this really boils down to very much a she said case.
She was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down, body shaming me. I mean, racial slurs, just a lot.
And did she spit on you?
She did.
Did her spit actually land on your body?
It did.
Did the defendant take a swing at you?
She did.
When she took a swing at you, it didn't hit your body, correct?
No.
Did the defendant use her fingernails to cut your face?
She did.
I feel like my privacy was completely being violated. I wouldn't want to be anything that has to do with my medical records or anything. Even if I do cosmetic surgery, I don't want people to be in anything that has to do with medical in your business. It's just, especially something that is so sacred as your pregnancy is yours.
All right, so predictions from all of our courties at home and from our wonderful guest, Linda Kenny Bodden, is what we want to do now. Linda, if you had to predict what this jury is going to do today and why, what would you say, please?
Well, I think that the jury will no cause the plaintiff's verdict. The only hope they have is for some minimal damages, as I said, for possibly the verbal assault. But I don't think they're going to find that. This is a security guard. That she should have known better. And everybody knows who Cardi B is. Everybody knows she gets angry, even though the plaintiffs were, even though the defense attorneys were able to keep out some of the other cases that she may be involved in. But this is when she went to her doctor for being pregnant. And I think the jury is going to find that humanistic moment that you just played there from her testimony is going to override the plaintiff's case.
Linda, tell me, having had the experience of representing high-profile attorneys many times in the courtroom, what are some of the other plans that you would have in place today in terms of PR, media, other things like that that you may be thinking about in addition to just the argument you're making before the court?
Oh, if she wins, Cardi B wins, I would put her before the cameras and say, look, no one should go through this. Just what you just said, if you are pregnant, if you're going to your doctor's office. But you have to stay away from defaming now the plaintiff if you have a press conference. But I think she has to thank the jury. I think she has to be humble. And she has to not be Cardi B. She has to be Belcalis, okay? And that, as I said, is her given name.
Yeah, she was authentic, and that really, it wins the day. I know you know this, Linda. You see that when people try to be somebody else, and like you said at the start, just being who she really is. Yeah, I think the jury's going to be able to connect with her, I think, more than people may think, because at the end of the day, she's a human being, right? We all deserve the same courtesy and respect when we go to our doctors, and it seems to me like that's really what it all started with, the violation of the privacy and the exploitation when she's just trying to get checked. We'll leave it there for now, but again, today around noon is when the closings will start. Linda Kenny-Budden, you always have a busy day ahead of you. You're doing your show, you're in the courtroom. Thank you for making time to come on Opening Statements today.